The revolving door of politics is currently one of the sad facts of life in politics. The logic is, of course, oh, if you serve in government, you do your time in government, you serve out your term. So when you're done, you get a nice, cushy job working for your donors. All right, well, yeah, that seems to, again, that's a sucky, that's a terrible system. We should absolutely get rid of all lobbyists and put a gigantic lobbying ban on anybody who served in government and things like that. But again, that revolving door is a disaster. Now, that said, job offers seem to not be happening to some of the most controversial Trump hires. People like our friend who tried to ban oral sex. Yes, Ken Cuccinelli. He tried to ban oral sex in Virginia. Way back in 2013. Okay. So now Ken Cuccinelli, who did the number 2 job at the Homeland Security Department under Trump, was looking at a corporate opportunity after he left the administration when the work was suddenly pulled. Oh, sad. Oh, I feel bad for you, man. Actually, no, I don't. They decided, Cuccinelli said, that they didn't want Trump people. It was just flat out. You can call it Trump discrimination. Okay. All right. So now is that a thing? Is Trump discrimination? Well, for some of the more controversial people, yes. Now, for many of the other lawyers that actually served in the Trump administration, actually more than 80% of them got jobs immediately after leaving office. Now, some of those jobs, they're complaining, are only part-time or they weren't our first choice, according to an analysis by Bloomberg Law. Okay, but still, 80%, that's pretty good. 80% of Trump lawyers got jobs. So I don't know if it's Trump discrimination, although he could make a case of being one of the more controversial Trump hires, and not getting an offer as a result of that. And, that's something that helps with that case is the fact that several companies had, as well as law firms, distanced themselves from Trump after the January 6th riots. Corporate law firm Crowell and Moring called for Trump's removal from office and urged others to make the same demand. Law firms Morgan Lewis and Bacchius and Seyfarth Shaw dropped Trump and his business's clients. So there's a couple of examples. Cuccinelli later added, I don't think anyone coming out of the George W. Bush administration was told, we can't hire this person. Well, again, that's a good point. A lot of people from the Bush administration had gotten hired, and the Bush administration was an absolute disaster. What are you going to do? But he added, I'm sure January 6th made that much worse than it ever would have been. Well, I mean, it was only a little tiny insurrection, right? Please give us that corporate job. We didn't mean it. Now, the fact that he seems to understand while also not understanding at the same time is kind of indicative of like this brain rot that they have. But anyway, there's more. Attorney General William Barr, Jeffrey Rosen, who ran the Justice Department in an acting capacity after Barr left, Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, and White House counsel Pat Cipollone are among those who have yet to resurface with full-time jobs. Again, get your tiniest violin out for these people. According to Jeffrey Lowe, managing partner of Recruiter Major Lindsay in Africa's Washington office, said this was about the lack of hiring for these people. Quote, when many of these people came to Washington, it was with Trump's intention to drain the swamp and bring in Washington insiders. It really shouldn't be surprising that many of them might not translate well into the typical Washington position. Again, sure, I get that, but there's a lie behind that because, again, Donald Trump talked about draining the swamp. In reality, he drained the swamp into his pocket. He is a swamp, funneled millions of dollars to himself, and then hired people who also funneled millions of dollars to themselves. So I'm just saying, a lot of his administration was deeply corrupt because he was deeply corrupt. The fish rots from the head down, right? So now again, normally when it comes to corruption in other administrations, because it does exist, generally people didn't care about that. That is, again, until Donald Trump encouraged an insurrection, as well as being openly horrible. That's not to say that other presidents weren't horrible with their policies. They are. I just look at Obama with the drones. And I know people get sensitive when you talk about that, and drones and CIA black sites and torture. And so those are facts. Those are things that are that have happened that are terrible. But it didn't prevent anyone who worked in the Obama administration from getting good corporate jobs. And so what's different in the Trump administration is that his horribleness was open and on display. And that really is the problem. See, it turns out that if you have the Trump stink on you, that stench, you are unhireable. And it's not because, oh, we're left wing, deep state. No, what it is like, I don't want that person working for me because it looks bad. I want to make money. I want to get clients. And I don't want these idiots or these people that have been tainted to work for us right now. There's not really a big demand here. And that, again, is the difference. Again, Donald Trump went full mask off, and certain people around him, just as we predicted, they went down with him. They're paying the price. And so now, however, you have people like Reed Rubenstein, who have a different theory. Now, Rubenstein had been acting general counsel authority under Trump at the Education Department. He says, this is a result of the extent to which big law has been captured by the political left. Ah, yes, big law. What is with calling everything that you don't like big? What is that trend? I don't understand. Big pharma, big law. Like, what are you, the big tech? What are you talking about? Oh, if you have an issue with monopolization, well, we can have a conversation about that. I'm all about breaking up monopolies. In fact, we should be able to do that. And we should do that. And we have the ability, presidents and the Congress actually have the ability to break up these monopolies. They choose not to. I wonder why. Big Waldorf. There you go. Wait. That means you all hate me. That's not good. Not good. All right. Anyway, as I said, he added, this is Rubenstein, to protect the middle and working class, we directly challenge the control, legitimacy, and power of the credentialed managerial class and their corporate institutions. So it's not a surprise to me that they are hostile to Trump administration alumni. Managerial class, guys. You realize a lot of people that he hired were not actually even fit for their positions, right? Had almost no experience. You're kidding. And of course, they still ended up getting prime positions and good jobs. And again, 80% of the Trump lawyers ended up getting good jobs. So what are you talking about? Bitch, please. Massive tax cuts, deregulation out the ass. Policy-wise, the Trump administration was actually incredibly pro-corporate and incredibly again, they massively helped corporations make more money. So they're very, very pro-corporate. And this is all while Donald Trump essentially played a heel. A bad guy, basically. Because, look, Donald Trump comes from, like, the pro wrestling, I guess, school of politics. And literally was on pro wrestling. And a heel is basically you play the bad guy. You play the bad guy in order to set up a better guy. I mean, generally that's how it goes. Except that there really was no better guy. I mean, okay, some. There are some better guys, I guess. One of them being, of course, Bernie Sanders. But anyway, that said, corporations benefited greatly from Trump's policy changes. And yet, at the same time, because it was the heel, they were able to claim to be on the moral high ground from publicly calling out Trump. So that's where the woke corporations come from. And really, it's classic playing both sides in order to make a profit. Corporations don't have any morality. Their entire business model is based on making money. I mean, their entire existence is to make money. They have no morality. They've got nothing. They're not human. Corporations are not people, my friend. So, but again, if you want to understand why companies do anything, all you got to do is follow the money. And right now, when it comes to it, these people from the Trump administration are either too inexperienced or too toxic for these companies to hire. Simple as that. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.